Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM. Brought to you proudly by Sportsman's Warehouse and the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency.
Hey, welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray here on ESPN 790 in Memphis and throughout all of West Tennessee, North Mississippi, and East Arkansas. And you folks know out there that I love to find new products, new things that I think will be beneficial to you and me, and, of course, also to my colleague here that's always with me on the third Saturday of the month, and that's Mr. Frank Barton. Not Mr., just Frank Barton is a longtime friend and fellow duck hunter, but my feet get cold a lot. Well, when I was at SEOPA, Southeastern Outdoor Press Association Conference, back in October, I ran into a familiar face, a person that has been a friend of Outdoors with Larry Ray for many years, and I was so glad to see Ingrid Niehaus, and also to find out more about Lowa Boots, L-O-W-A Boots. And I'm a man that is always looking, trying to keep his feet warm, keep from falling down the older I get. And so we're going to talk boots this morning. And who better to talk boots with is Victor Mikell. He is the Customer Support Associate, hunting category, a man from the Bronx. You know, I think this is maybe the second man from the Bronx in 19 years that we've been on the air. So I think I'll just lean back and let him talk, because I hear Southern all the time here, Victor. So we got to hear that New York accent to us. But first of all kidding aside, thank you for taking time to be with us. And I know that we're talking boots here, so let's first of all give our listeners a little bit about the company itself.
Okay, so Lowa Sport Shoe is a German-owned company. We here are the distribution center for the United States. So we make and distribute boots for mountaineering, hiking, backpacking, hunting, tactical, law enforcement as well. So if it's any sort of duty boot or something that you're going to wear outside, we definitely have our hands in it.
And your background, as you told me through the email, that you grew up in upstate New York and hunting, deer hunts, and the Catskills. Man, that sounds like I feel like the weather in Memphis here lately has been like the Catskills. You know, we're cold. We're colder than Alaska. I mean,
really?
Yeah, we were colder than Anchorage 2 days ago. But you're bitten by the bug, you said, for the hunting. But at the same time, how important are boots to an outdoorsman?
So boots are, it's what's going to make or break your trip. You can have all the great gear, you can have the best rifle or bow, you can have all that great stuff, but if your feet are miserable, you're going to be miserable is the bottom line. So picking a great boot for the sort of terrain and the sort of weight that you're going to be carrying is super important. And that's something that we can, help guide people through either here at Lowa through the customer service channels or in any of our dealers, which we definitely, give a full rundown on all the specs. Yeah,
LowaBoots.com, L-O-W-A Boots.com. I've already been through it, looking through them, and I'm going to ask you this thing. Everybody's into Thinsulate, everybody's into waterproof, water resistant, all these different kind of things, and your feet still get cold. And I'm a man that says I'm a rubber boot man. Okay, I've worn rubber boots to leave no scent. Well, it makes no sense sometimes to wear rubber boots. No pun intended, right there. But you guys have come up with, I think, and talk about it, the Renegade Ice GTX with the Arctic Grip sole. I was just mystified by that. Tell our listeners a little about this particular boot and other ones that you offer.
Yeah, so that specific model uses actually a Gore insulation system.
Okay.
So it's a Gore-Tex boot, which is going to be guaranteed to keep your feet dry. It's got a little bit of insulation. It's not a whole lot. It's if you think of it as like a cold weather 3-season boot as opposed to a big mountain boot, that's right where it's going to kind of fit in. It does great for early season cold weather areas where you may have, a hard rain and then a freeze overnight.
Yes.
Or any place where traction is going to be an issue because you have that special rubber compound on the bottom which is really going to bite into ice and packed snow. As far as other insulated boots, though, as far as hunting goes, we've got a couple of different options.
Yeah, you do.
If you're doing really cold weather, let's say you're doing, like a sheep hunt, some real big mountain, real nasty weather stuff. We have something like the Tibet Super Warm.
Yeah, I love that one. Yeah.
Which is going to have 400 grams of Primaloft insulation. So that's going to be one of the warmest options that we have, and it's built on a super stable platform.
Yeah.
Very similar to the old school backpacking boots that we grew up with.
Oh, yeah.
The real heavy, stiff guys. So, you're going to do real well side hilling on those. If you're doing some stuff above tree line, all that sort of rocky terrain you're going to encounter, it's going to give you all the stability you need. And then we also have some higher variants, the Hunter, which is going to be a little less insulated. It's 200 grams of Primaloft, but it's going to be a 10-inch instead of an 8-inch boot and still be built on that same platform as the Tibet and the Tibet Super
And you're
Warm.
talking about Primaloft.
Yes.
You may have lost a truck driver going down I-55 here because he wondered what's Primaloft. I know Thinsulate. Thinsulate. Yeah. We've been drilled in our mind. Thinsulate. Explain Primaloft.
Yeah, so Primaloft has been around for a couple of decades now. What it is a synthetic insulation.
Just like in your house.
Just like in your house, right.
Yes.
And what they do is they increase the warmth-to-weight ratio by making the insulation fibers hollow.
That's right.
Right?
Okay.
Because just like in your house, in your windows, or the insulation in your wall,
yeah.
It's not the actual material that keeps you warm, it's the airspace created by the material.
Yeah.
And so because they've been able to create a way where you have that extra space inside the fibers, it exponentially increases the amount of air that can be trapped, and it makes something that's really thin and really lightweight be really warm. And so that's what we're using in the majority of our cold weather boots right now.
Victor is, of course, out of Stamford, Connecticut, where it does get a little cool up there. The company itself, you mentioned it earlier, and from Germany. So talk us a little bit on that, the company background and how it's come to America now, and a little bit about the company.
Yeah, so Loa Sports Shoe it was founded back in 1923.
Okay.
So it's been around for a while.
Yes.
They were purchased by Technica Group back in 1993.
Okay.
So we still have our corporate headquarters just outside of Munich in Germany. We have corporate and distribution offices all over the world so that we can basically provide a tailored assortment for the different countries that we're servicing. So whether it be, Canada, here, Australia, Germany, Switzerland, we all have our separate offices so that we can bring in the styles that are really going to work well for our customer base.
Well, I know that, and I have a friend that's been a former guide out west. He's been a rodeo personality. He's done all these kind of things, and he's always said, you get what you buy and what you spend. He can buy and he's told me he knows your boots, and he said, these boots, the fact they defeat the purpose, you may not buy another boot in your lifetime, folks. That's how good they are.
That's definitely true. You do, just like with anything, you get what you pay for. And I like to think of it as kind of the buy once, cry once motto.
Okay.
Especially with our boots, they're on the higher end of the price point spectrum, but you're dealing with premium materials and a handmade construction that is, that we stand behind. And the bulk of our boots, especially when you're looking at a hunting category or anything where you're carrying heavy loads, they're going to be something that can be rebuilt. So, the uppers can withstand a lifetime, and obviously, the soles are consumable. So when those wear out, you can send them back to us. We send them right back to the German factory where they were made.
Okay.
We put them back on a last. We reshape the uppers, we replace the midsole and the outsole, and what you get back is that same broken-in upper that you've loved for the past 5 years with a brand-new outsole that'll give you another, 5 more years in the field.
It seems like this is Pinocchio's working on these boots. I can just visualize this, and we kind of touched on it briefly, and I was kind of really impressed when I got to see the boots and everything at Oxford. That Arctic grip sole, I mean, I have a tendency to slip a lot. So we only got a couple of minutes left, but tell us what that is.
So the Arctic grip sole is basically it's a proprietary outsole that is a dual compound rubber, and it reacts to the cold, and it allows it to...
It grips.
Right. It allows it to actually bite into ice, pack snow.
Yeah, all-wheel drive, all-foot drive.
Exactly. So it's basically like putting, the winter tires on your car and putting those on your feet. It's not going to give you the same sort of traction that you would get from like a crampon or from even spikies, for that matter, the little like spikes strap on the bottom. But if you're just dealing with, waiting for the early morning frozen dew to kind of thaw out, it's going to get you by. If you are rolling around town, after a day out in the field, and you want to go to dinner, but the sidewalks are a little icy, it'll keep you standing upright.
Well, I know I could have used it last Saturday on opening day here when everything was frost and ice. And, of course, anytime we have a 1-inch blizzard, it shuts us down here in Memphis. Those kind of things. Hey, Victor, thank you. Now, so give them that website and how to find out more information again.
Yeah, definitely. You can visit us at loaboots.com. You can visit us there and see a list of all of the local retailers.
And the Facebook page. I'm sure you guys got that, too.
Yeah, so facebook.com/LOWA-Boots.
That's it, LOWA-Boots.com. Victor, thank you, man. I'm going to stay in touch with you. You didn't really, you've been practicing your accent. I was really hoping that, that we would have the Bronx, but you've been in the mountains too much now.
Yeah,
all right?
I've been out of the city for a while now. So.
All right, buddy. Thank you. Good to meet you, and we'll talk to you down the road, okay?
Same here. Take care,
Larry.
Larry.
All right, let's take a break, come right back, and talk diamonds. I love to talk diamonds. I was once a diamond in the rough, but I was a piece of coal. I'll come back to that. I'm going to let you introduce him next time. All right, get ready, Frank. Let's take a break.